Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here. And welcome to the Board of Supervisors meeting for the beginning of the month of December, last month of the year. We're grateful to have everybody here and glad to see you. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. This is the time of year that gives us an opportunity to not think so much about what we don't have, but to be thankful for what we do have. And I don't think it'll take very much thinking to know how blessed we truly are. So glad to see you. With that being said, I'm going to ask Supervisor Little, if you don't mind, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we'd like to thank you so very much for this day. And thank you, Lord, for all the things that you have done for us and that you continue to bless us with, Lord. Lord, please give all of us travel mercies today, and be with all of those that have been bedridden during the holidays. Lord, please give us discernment as we go about our business, and help us to make the best decisions for October County. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Supervisor. That being said, well, it's a little chilly in here this morning, but at least we won't fall asleep. We're going to move into our agenda, and the first thing on our agenda is our citizens' comment period. This is the time that anyone that would like to come before the board address us to be able to hear any concerns that you may have. So good morning. If you don't mind, state your name.
Greg Howell.
Howell. Thank you, Mr. Howell. Good morning.
And I'm Lisa Shirley. We're here together.
Okay, good morning, Ms. Shirley. Well, you have an opportunity right now to address the board with any concerns that you might have for up to 3 minutes.
I live at 55 Chicago Road out in the Longview area. And Ben is my supervisor, and I first contacted him in the last of August, 1st of September, about grading ditches and gravel on the road. And he come out to clean the ditches, and he brought one small, and I mean small, dump truck load of gravel, and it didn't nowhere near cover the road. He suggested I come and speak to y'all to see if we could get some more gravel out there. I also spoke to him about the previous supervisor came out and was helping me deal with a flooding issue I had. They got the beaver dam cleared out of the little creek behind my house. And while he was there, he asked me, could he have my permission to dig a ditch from Chicago Road through my property to the creek to help the drainage in that area. And I signed the paper and gave him permission to do that. Well, since then, the ditch on the lower end toward the creek has filled in and is level with the ground again. It needs to be cleaned out. I understand as a rule the county don't own this ditch. I did not realize this was going to be a problem when I gave him permission to dig the ditch. I'm just asking, can we please get that ditch cleaned out a little bit to where it will drain? And the third thing we'd like to put on the agenda, if possible, and I realize it ain't going to happen overnight, Chicago Road's not but about a quarter of a mile. Could we possibly see about getting it paved?
Slag.
It ain't got to be striped or none of that kind of, just
Like John White Road.
yeah.
I did ask you to come up here. We've gone back a couple times on this road, and I would say our workers have done a good job of ditching, but that's one issue. Two, there's a big pile of leftover gravel. I don't know if it's from a previous term. Can the county reclaim that? I'm sure it's ours, but I would say it's a few feet tall.
Yeah, it's deep down on the far end at the dead end.
Is it on private property or?
No, it's in the end of the road. If you go down there in a car, you won't come out. I pulled several people, like Grubhub or whatnot. I pulled them out because they got under that gravel and got stuck.
Can we grab that and pull it back?
I think it's ours. If it's on county right away, yeah.
We'll get together.
I would think a tractor with a box blade would do better than a road grader there. I'm not trying to mind y'all's business, please.
No, so the road's one issue. The second issue is, and I'll tell you this, I think it's not in a floodplain, but there's houses probably from a quarter mile both ways that have had drainage issues. And we started looking on that, trying to figure out, this may be something Tom Bigby had to come in and assess. That's a Tom Bigby River Valley Water
Yeah.
District. Because it's not in a floodplain, but it sure floods a lot down there.
Yeah.
We've had water.
I've had water knee deep in my backyard.
Yeah.
Is there a creek back there that just
Oh,
is
yeah.
over?
It's, I
A
mean,
massive creek.
it may be 6 feet wide maybe, and maybe 2 foot deep.
Do you know what, if it's got a name
I
attached to it?
haven't, not that I know
We'll
of.
figure it out.
Might be good to let Tom come and assess the areas, the drainage.
The previous supervisor came and looked one day where I had water over knee deep. And he went and walked the creek, and I think he said he found a beaver dam and supposedly got it took out. But as much debris is in that ditch, I mean, it may be back again. It may need cleaning, blowing again. I don't know.
Tom Dick is good about cleaning out and everything.
I rode mad. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, wait,
Go
I
ahead.
have a destination travel trailer. I just bought a travel trailer vehicle that I put on my land there, 60 Chicago Road across the street. My question is it called slag that John White Road's made out of?
It's just gravel.
Gravel, but it looks like concrete, but it's stronger than gravel, isn't it?
It looks like that type where you sprayed tar or whatever and then come over the top of it with rock and then pack it with I don't know.
He's got something.
I just talked to our engineer. He's gone and looked at that. That road that's out there is too low. It's actually lower than the creek area out there. So I'm not suggesting when y'all are going to do anything, but the road itself needs to be raised. So it's not going to be a simple just issue of going and putting gravel on it. It's going to be an issue of actually putting them.
Reclaiming the
You
road.
talking about
How do we
Chicago
start
Road?
this?
So it's
How do
going
we
to have to
start
be
that?
raised.
What's the best way to start that process?
We've looked at this a couple of years ago under the previous supervisor, Dr. Cliff. The road's just low. It's actually lower, the ditches are lower than the creek for quite a bit. So road bed needs to be raised, it needs drainage improvements, I'll call it south of the road in there. You know, some of which are not gonna be on county right of way to get this whole thing to work. So you can add gravel, you can keep it stabilized where these folks can go in and out, but the true fix is a project.
How do we get started on that process?
Just tell us, you know, what we've done so far is just to ride through and look. We walked the creeks that Mr. Howell talked about and look, but it needs survey work, it needs a design, it needs to be turned into a project.
What it's doing is coming over the road to Washington, going into his yard, and then it's coming, I think it's an inch from, it's come into this deep into his shop, and then his house is getting,
Well,
The ditches cannot drain. They don't have anywhere to go.
I've lived there since 19, and I've had water knee deep in my backyard several times. But now here, I don't know what it was, 6 months ago that we had the hecacious rain out that way, 11 inches. I had 6 inches of water in my shed, and it missed coming in my house by about that much. I mean, most of the water is like what he said, coming from the west side of the road over onto my property.
I went from my side of the road
Yeah.
over to your property.
Because you can walk out in my yard, and you see the little river rose or whatever you call it of the pine straw and the little scrub stuff that just gets like waves washed up, and I mean, you can tell it's coming from that direction.
Okay, well, Supervisor Carver, you probably need to go ahead and make a motion to allow our engineer to come out and do some study and designing of that area.
move approval.
It's been moved by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer, that we allow our engineer to come out and do some study and designing of that area to see what we can do to solve that problem.
I'm from Memphis, I'm kind of new to the area, I'm all way in there down Longview on Chicago Road. Long story short, do you have money in the budget to do these sorts of things? You talk
It's
about
never
budget.
overnight. I've learned that. I've been on this board about 2 years. We have 4-year road plans, and we're doing that. And
we should have.
We have looked at it, we looked at it.
Quality of life, life safety things might can expedite it somewhat, but it's not overnight. But we'll start the process.
Okay, thank you so
Yes, ma'am.
much. I
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
Absolutely.
listening. Thank you.
Do we have anybody else that would like to approach? We need a motion. Did I? Okay, all in favor? Motion carries. Need a motion to acknowledge citizens' comment. Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion carries. Is there anyone else that would like to approach the board this morning? If not, we'll close our citizens' comment period.
Check on Mr. Turner.
Oh, okay.
Out here this morning.
Yeah.
Get up and go to the elevator.
Next on the agenda, we have approval of our minutes from last meeting. Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Little to approve minutes. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Well, one thing on the Christmas parade, it's been moved to next Monday, right?
That's correct. I'm gonna cover that. I got some information for you. Chatted in yesterday.
Okay, next on the agenda, we've got our veteran officer, CEO, Ms. Hobson.
Thank you,
Good
President.
morning.
Good morning. Hope everyone had a great holiday.
Yes, indeed.
Everyone's well, so I got a lot of stuff in this package today. And as you can see, a lot happening. I just got back from a conference, so I picked up a lot of, it was a Mississippi conference, so I picked up a lot of information there. And it affects funding also, so I put that in. It's a new act that was passed this year, and I'll go over it when you look at the, what I put in for the general information. Let's see, they're under 2, and I'll go over it, I'll read some of it and then I'll try to make it quick, rather than the questions just stop it. But first is the, I went to the training as I discussed a few minutes ago, and passed the test, so there's my accreditation certificate for 2026, it's in the package. And then I'm going to go to the next thing, which is the passage of the Elizabethville Healthcare and Benefits Improvement Act. And this is in law, and it's not going to be contingent, I can tell you, who's going to be, what administration is in power at the time. It's in law, and it's really got a lot of healthcare, health, improvements, benefits, and caregiver support. So the full, you can look at the full details. I've included a copy of a summary of it, and I think in your package, right? And so you can look at the summary and get full details at va.gov. And then also tacked on, which is going to really affect the CBSOs, is the tacked on with this bill, was the CBSO Act that they've been trying to get passed on its own for several years. But it was passed this time. And what they're going to do is, they're improving all federal programs. They're adding that, and federal funding is going to be added also. They're going to have grant money for 2 years. And when they release the what they call the notice of funding opportunities, each state will have opportunity to get the $10 million in grant money that's going to be in place for 2 years to get counties that haven't been supporting or having the money to pay for education, because there's a lot of education in this bill. They're going to fund that, and then, as you can see, I can just read it. It's going to enhance CBSO responsibility and resources, and this is the first time a federal grant program for Federal Department of Veterans Affairs to give each state federal funding to supplement existing county-funded CBSO services. And I'm going to be working, I called someone on the board, Mississippi board, and I'm going to be working on this a little bit also to make sure that our Tuckahoe County gets, what they deserve, yes.
You're saying this county's got 1,875 veterans and it might get 23 million?
No, that has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll get to that in a few
Okay.
minutes. Okay, he's looking at Mr. Barfield's, from the economics, that everything that
all
is this. This is a new act that was just passed and put into, effect in September, for the CBS stuff. But I have a copy of that, a summary of that. I should have that in your, package also. And so, let's see, it's really good that this is the first time they've even approached federal funding for each state, instead of the counties having to pay it off. I know it's grant, but it could be extended each year, and just depending on what happens. But I have, like I said, a summary in there, and I'll be working on that if they call me to make sure we get what we deserve. And I don't know how, I haven't worked on, I've worked on little contracts, I haven't worked on putting in grant money before. But I know that the mayor and everything has a staff grant, right, or something?
The PDD does.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you, when the notice of funding opportunity is published, if you'll recognize it and come talk to me, we'll put together a strategy for how to
Yes,
approach
and
it. We can
I'll
talk
see
with,
how it's
we got Phyllis over to GTPDD that can help us write some grants, and I've done it. I mean, we
Okay.
don't let it intimidate you. We get it figured out.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
right, yeah, I know, we tried to get something on it, because, you know, I like to make sure that we're covered with it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but anyhow, I just thought, you know, that's a good thing to happen, so, in the first of its kind, since I've been doing like I said. Yes,
Is there a possibility for veterans spouse in this particular field?
Oh, yes, there's a lot. Even in Elizabeth doing this for caregiver, they've expanded caregiver support and caregiver money. So that's, so I can,
Can you look into whether or not the caregiver would have to be a certified nurse or nurse assistant or something like that, or they just,
they can be a
just help it
family.
out?
They can be a family member, and there's a program, and I have all of them. I have the forms and everything for the program, that a family member can request to be the caregiver. And VA has a program for that. And they will see what training they need to have and everything, but and a lot of veterans are using this program already because they've heard about it through the health system, it's through the VA health benefits. But do you want me to send you something on that?
Well, I'd come back to you.
Okay, that'd be fine. And I'll have it all ready for you, okay? And let me know if you need me to send it to you if you can't get by. You told me you were going to be coming by before, you didn't ever get, that's the only reason I'm saying that. Okay, good. Okay, I'll get that together for you. Yeah, it's a good program. So, like I said, I got a summary in there so you can look over some things.
Is it competitive though in terms of who's going to get it and who's not going to receive it?
Not on the benefits for caregivers, it's not competitive. The only thing we're talking about is the money for each state that will be funding for CBSOs is what we're talking about, grant money for that. The other is benefits for caregivers that they're entitled to, even spouses are entitled to, or any family member that establishes a relationship with the veteran are entitled to it. So it's a lot of family members, not a lot, I would say, but family members that could be entitled to it. I just have to look at the eligibility, and I'll have all of that. Does that answer your?
Well, I was thinking the family member had to be a veteran also.
No, not to take care of it, not to be the caregiver. No. If they need a caregiver, like I said, there's a form to fill out, and they will send a monetary compensation directly to the caregiver. They've enhanced that too with this passage, so I'm gonna look in more detail on it, but there's already a program available for that. And they've already helped with that with the PACT Act, had some, about that caregiver support. And I'll like get it packaged together for you, okay? Okay, let's see, any more questions on that? thought that was pretty good. That's the first time I've heard of that. Okay, the next thing I've been doing the military meetings, for Veterans Day that we had. Okay, and then I'm going to establish, I'm talking to the dispatch, and I've talked to them before, and they were going to do it for free, where I could put in let's say it's a Veterans Corner section, which means I could post like all this new benefits and what's happening new in the dispatch for veterans, and it could come out monthly at a certain time, so veterans will, once they start seeing it, they'll know to look for it and explain. I think how do you get the word out if they don't know about all these bills and all this new stuff that's coming out? And I'll just simplify it and put like a paragraph or so, and I thought that would be good. What do y'all think? To start that. If they're not going to charge, why not?
The dispatch is gonna do that? Or is that? Just do a Veterans Corner, yeah, do a little small ad, at least do a link to a website.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Right. That note, I'm sure it's right there. Like all this new passage, and there's a burial, 2024, I know I posted that about burial changes for the spouse and the veteran. So I'm gonna put together things like that they may not have noticed. Okay. And then I got graduated from the Boots to Business, and the other guy that was starting with it, he moved up. So we moved to the, but anyhow, that's still going on monthly. Okay, and I have that Veterans Business, and I went to the Launch Small Business Administration, where they, so I do have the background on that, and when we go to resource fairs, I have that out there for veterans to look at, and I'll tell them like in this corner that they can come see me, and I have the background of charts, presentations, how to get involved in it, blah, 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 okay? So that Supervisor Trainer's been working with me on that, and I've been towards those. And then I went to several of this, and it's in your package also, that Lunch and Learn, where they had the outreach center. Okay, then they had some webinars through the National Association of County Veteran Service Officers about housing resources and new home loan grants, so I participated in that. Now, getting back to Supervisor Carver, the expenditures that you were talking about, I got that from the Alan Barfield. I probably sent y'all probably everything on that to a big package without, but what you have in there is just the Veterans Affairs part, okay? So that's what and I highlighted that, and I talked to Mr. Barfield, and I wrote the VA population, and he gets this data from federal VA databases, and so it's a little bit different than some just mine that's right here that I have. And he thought, from his information, you'll see on 2022 to 2024, there's a VA population is declining some, but the total VA expenditures for the VA expenses have increased. And you'll see that. And I asked him, was that because they're being awarded more claims and increases and appeals, and they're getting more money in their pocket to spend in the county? And he said, very well could be that they're approving more for this county for veterans to get more money. So therefore, leading to the economic growth of the county. And I just said, well, what he thought is what I thought and what my charts were showing. So I put that little part in there. So I'm just patting myself on the back with it. But anyhow. Okay, so then I'm continuing the monthly meetings for, that we got to go to, that I participate in. And upcoming events, they're having a Veterans Forum, and Tupelo, they have a big forum over there. They network, discuss things, how they're doing. Some veteran service officers may know someone to do things a little, and for contact information, share things like that. They're getting they work with a lot, which is so interesting. Like Home Depot getting grants to do a lot of work for veterans. And I mean, that's a big county, but they're getting a lot of, support within the community. And it's gotten, the forum has gotten huge, so I want to make sure I start going more to those. I just heard about it like 6 months ago. I didn't know they were doing so much with that, and it's taken off. See what we can do maybe here. Okay, and now the next thing I've got is hours in my budget. And I don't know if you want to talk about this now, but I think we just got off on the wrong foot or something with the hours. And I'm not sure I understand, and I went back and looked at my notes when I first started here. I've been here about 7 years, and so I just, I have something on that. It's so cold outside. And if you want to talk about this venue, I just want to, I can't do this job at 25. If it means I have to work full time, and I love my job. I love helping. And I have been accredited with a lot of things now. The regional office is no longer there, the Mississippi Regional Office. They are, their intake center is not there. See, since y'all looked at things, if I knew about things, and I haven't been good at, I guess it's just started happening, that they're not, that they, after the COVID, that they decided to disband their regional office. And so now they're wanting CBSOs to do input, all claims, appeals, anything, and do the background work. And they would supervise.
So, Ms. Hobson,
Yes, sir.
how many hours right now in the county?
Well, that's another thing. I've done variable to keep costs down and the hours. Like if I didn't need 4 hours here, I do probably 5 to 6 I need without a break.
I guess what I'm getting at is this. You're retired, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm getting at is after you go over a certain amount of hours, you're considered full time.
Yes, sir.
And so I think that's the balancing act that we're trying to work through.
Right, and
as
that's
far
what,
as-
okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, and that's what I didn't understand really, because it was just presented to me, there's 20 hours period, and I was like, oh wait, I can't do it. I guess I got rushed, because there's just so much. It is a lot, more than it used to be. I can go.
Go ahead, Supervisor.
I think what Supervisor Howard was trying to say is if you are retired, how is that gonna equate to retirement? Because you can only make up to so much, and then it affects your retirement.
With my pensions, I'm fine. I'm fine with, I can look up to 100. I know that I'm not gonna have to worry about it with that.
I'll tell you what, we've got a human resource officer here,
Mm-hmm,
and our county administrator,
Mhm.
and our comptroller here.
okay.
So I feel like there should be a sit-down meeting, so we can sort of discuss hours and how it's gonna affect you if being retired and things of that nature, and maybe report back to the board at our next board meeting. You think that'll work? Would that be good with you? Okay, all right. Okay, well, why don't we do that instead of having this conversation right now? Let's
Right.
gather up some more information and then make a decision.
Certainly. And, how are we gonna get the meeting together? Do I, y'all?
Our county administrator will reach out and
I'll-
organize it.
Okay, so I'll just get with you, Mr. Carpenter? And
Ma'am.
I'll get with you later on
Yes,
this
ma'am.
week, and, okay. Okay, well, that sounds good to me.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank y'all. I enjoy, everything I'm doing here. If you need me for anything about the new laws, and I'll just proceed with getting that, Veterans Corner in the, paper, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Motion to acknowledge.
So,
Motion by Supervisor Frame, second by Supervisor Carver. All in favor?
I
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Hopkins. Ms. Next on the agenda, we got our tax assessor collector, Ms. Joellen Walker. Good morning.
Good morning.
Being represented by Ms. Barbara Cupon. Good morning.
Assessment changes to that.
Make a motion to approve the assessment change.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams, that we approve assessment changes. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Keep it long.
She trying to get back to the heat or something.
There ain't no heat around here.
Y'all don't have office?
We got little bitty heaters.
Yeah, we purchased our own.
Yeah.
Portable heaters.
I bought all the girls some last year.
Yeah. I missed one.
Yes, thank you. There you go. Thank you. Okay.
Next on the agenda, we've got our county engineer, Mr. Pritchard. Good morning.
Good morning, though. Don't panic.
Oh, goodness.
Before I distribute these, I'll remind you, we've got a lot of work coming up in the spring. Virtually all these jobs have been suspended time-wise with contract award. So right now, we have Chicago Lane to look at for new work. And Osborne Bridge has got pre-assembly at state aid. We could get awarded and advertised at any time.
Is that the bridge and you turn left at the railroad track, or is that the?
Well, it's near the railroad track. The railroad track runs
Parallel.
The
parallel.
one on the bottom?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's almost ready to advertise. 4 LSBT projects at state aid that we expect to be approved, the programs. But I say all that to say this, if you have work that you think you might want to pursue in the spring or summer next year, jobs that you're thinking about, now's a good time to let us know. So we can start doing the legwork, putting those together and estimate for you.
Can we do change orders, kind of similar to like what we did with Blackjack and Bell?
You can do change orders on awarded projects. The project has to be awarded first so that you're on the contract. Then you can do a change order provided it's similar scope of work. So I can't take a grading job, ditch job out
Right.
there and turn around and change order necessarily asphalt paving.
Right.
It has to be similar scope of work
Right.
down there. But yes, we can do that.
So what you're giving us today is a smaller drainage inventory for.
What I have for you today, and Mr. Carter and I talked about this a little bit, okay? Y'all charged us early this year with a small drainage inventory. So what we've done is gone out and tried to find all these pipes and these small culverts and small bridges and assess what kind of shape they're in. Some of that is subjective. But what I've got is, I've got a binder for each of you, and they work from a scale of 1 being worse, need to go look down, to 10, we don't see anything to worry about at this time. So we've got structure numbers, and we've got the rating for each district. What I don't have for you in here right now is a map. I didn't know how if you wanted a hard copy map or a PDF map or what you want to kind of show you where these things are located. So I need a little feedback on that. I can give you either or.
Does it have the
Do what?
Does it have the addresses in there?
It's got coordinates in there. It's got GPS coordinates in there where it is. And you'll have road names in there too, but you really need you need a PDF map I didn't know how, what you want, or a hard copy, so you could go find them.
I would say both.
Both? What scale mount? Y'all want like a 24 by 36 sheet, or a smaller mount, or
24 by 36, something we can.
something you can fold or
I
pull
don't
out?
know, big one.
All right, I'll generate those, and I'll give them to Mr. Carter, and leave them at the office here for you.
But now on the PDF part, is there any way you think that Toby can incorporate that into our, what we have that we have to?
We can, that would be a whole
There you
nother
go.
conversation. We got the data to allow for that.
I think we can give Toby those GPS coordinates and he can input them in there if you have them on the file.
We've got a file together with all the coordinates. There's been some conversation around that you can get too much data. That you just open up the file and it's just data, and you have to wade through that to get to what you want to look for. We need to have a conversation about what you actually want to see, which is, I assume, a number on the road where it's at in there. So, in any event, I've got one for each of you.
Do you have a recommendation as to whether or not contractual service will be necessary, or whether or not the county personnel could do that work?
I think if you have the personnel and equipment available, I think just about all I see in here can be done with county forces. But I'll just give you an example right here. This is Mr. Joe's district. He's got ones and twos need somebody to go look like right now. And he's got one of those, he's got one, he's got 1 2s, and then he's got a bunch of stuff that we didn't see anything really wrong with. Okay? So it'll tell you up front on this.
One's the worst or 10's the worst?
One's gonna be the worst.
I'll say it backwards.
Yeah, it's backwards me too, but
The higher the number, the better it is.
how the number, the worse it is.
He said it wrong the first
So
time.
One and two,
His first priority.
they're first priority.
First.
You said it backwards the first time.
Well, I may have, because I've been backwards on this whole thing. But ones and twos need somebody to go look right now. So here's a copy from Mr. Joe. Number 10. And
More than that,
all right, and then, I got one master set here that's got an all in it to leave with Wayne or Vic, or we can generate this again for Vic or whatever.
I'll get a copy of it. I want to get it scanned in.
Well, before you scan, check back with me, because we may have it, put my folks trying to put it electronic. But you got pictures of these things, and you got comments, and again, some of it's subjective, and you may see one in there that Vic or Keith has addressed since we looked at it. I wouldn't be surprised, because it's been about a 9-month process.
that. I need the electronic.
You got it?
You said you
So any questions about this, I'll get you a map in hard copy and electronic format.
These are what you
Now, when
call
you say
small
they-
drainage structures.
That's right. These are structures that are not on the bridge anymore.
That's what, yeah, okay.
These gonna be pipes, culverts, double culverts. You'll see some of them that we found that are rusted out in the bottom complete. Those are the ones that Supervisor Howard, had surprises on a few. Well, one day they're good and the next day they're gone. Okay?
So all the ones we need to discuss with, roadman.
Ones and twos, you need to go to road line with your right of way and say, hey, we need to go look. And if it's a safety condition we saw, that's gonna be rated a 1 or 2 also. Okay?
So how do we cross-reference, looking at the front page and then finding it through the?
They should be by number. You got a structure number at the top
Okay.
on your pictures right there.
Okay, 37, then 37. So, say 12.
I need to get you a map.
Of the page, like that says one.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the page number for the pictures on that structure. You may have 3 or 4 pages.
Well, they don't, like, there's 2 and then 3 and then there's 1 again.
Just your structure, it's the first structure
Each
number.
structure.
Okay?
Can I ask the IT manager if you've got any thoughts on incorporating this into some systems we've already got, or?
Yeah, so Cloud's team obviously has put a lot of work into that. It's a lot of material. But you all have a device that we've given you that's meant to be the electronic equivalent of this. And with your phone and the iPad and this data, when we incorporate it into it, you have a really quick and easy way to go collect the information and provide feedback back to Clyde's team. They've got a digital system, AutoCAD, that we can reference that data quickly into the GIS. We've had some brief talks about it. I'm very aware of what their capabilities are. I don't know that they're aware of what our capabilities are, but that's the next step in this. We've got much easier ways for you guys to go collect this information and provide nearly instantaneous feedback that they can incorporate in their engineering design tools. So we're missing that piece. That's the next step to take to get out of these paper binders.
How
and into the
how
new
do I
world.
take this GPS north of 33, 30, 47 and Easting and find that? You got,
In our world, we put that on your map, and it's a bridge that shows up that says you need to go out and look at it for Clyde. And it's literally that easy.
I
Use
can
your phone
type
to direct
that
it.
in that.
We don't want you to type it, we just want you to show it. I can show you how to use that paper book in the meantime, but the easy button is, once we get that into our GIS system, then you guys can go collect data on it, and you can instantly see, I've got this many left to do, this is where the next one is, how do I get there? Takes you right to it, collects the information that they want.
But we needed the first step, that physical inspection.
No, that's actually the next step after that. The tools allow you to do the physical inspection. So Clyde's done the work to where we have the data. Now we need to take
But
that
that's what
data
I'm saying.
and
Yeah.
bring it into the
We need
GIS and allow you to go collect the data using these so that it instantly goes back to their team. There's a different way of doing it besides paper. We can look at that if you guys want to know more about that. It's quite easy to do. It's much quicker than what you're about to do with that paper book.
Well, we understand that there's advanced technology. London team does this every day, but our objective right here is get something in your hand so you can see where these are and go get your hard copy to look at. That's step one in this whole process, and you're right, somebody. Step one was just go back and look, and I'm afraid I am too. We may have missed one somewhere. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's hundreds and hundreds of pipes and structures out there in the county. So, but all this can be updated at any time. I'll get you a hard copy map to carry with you and look at, and we'll get you a PDF. And if you got any questions, let us know. It's kind of step one.
That would help us locate these
That's right.
places that
That's
need to
right.
work.
I'll get you one for each district showing the structures in your district that you can look. If you're looking for number 232,
Right.
it'll show up on that.
Okay. that's-
Okay. In the meantime, we'll start working through this process to get it on the phone and the GIS and update.
Is there any information, feedback that you'd like from the supervisors when they go out and place eyes on them, Clyde?
Do what?
Is there any information that you want to get back from them when they go out and put eyeballs on it?
Oh, I think what they need to do now, I mean, my recommendation to you is you look at your priority structures and
Turn to plain action.
put them in action.
Get to work.
Put
Get to
them
work.
in go. All that said, when you start going through this, if there's something that comes up, say, I really wish I had it this way, I really wish I could see it, just let us know. We can do a whole lot with what we got in front of us.
Todd, did you see anything that gave you concern from a safety standpoint?
There are a few, and a couple of them, I know we had a guardrail on a pipe that was right up to the shoulder here and there. We've gone ahead and called, like Mr. Joe or.
So you already taken care of the things?
We brought it to somebody's attention already.
Okay.
And again, some of what you see may have been addressed since we put all this together. But if we saw something that we thought was
Life safety.
life safety issue, we've gone ahead and called somebody. Yeah. It ain't perfect, but it's a good start.
Thank you.
Sounds good, that's what we need.
All right.
Motion to acknowledge the report from the county engineer.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Carver, all in favor? Discussion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now, before you, and I guess you finish, I don't know whether you're coming back for the other items that are on our agenda. And one is the Bluff Lake Road. And I'm just encouraging you to take a look at that and see how that really applies to what we really need to do.
I received the email from Mr. Cartner latter part of last week about needing some additional information on the CLAP grant, the terminal. You well know we've been working this thing for several years now with the grant. I have not looked at the details to see what it'll actually do. So I need to do that, but I am aware that some additional information is needed.
Yeah. 'Cause it asks for,
So
it asks for more like PBST, and we had more.
we've given you an estimate for,
Yeah,
yeah, right,
we had additional.
right.
Well, now's our opportunity to update our request.
Yeah, update our.
In other words, we sent in an initial plan, they programmed it, and so we need to really sharpen our pencil and make sure what we send back this time is exactly what we want to
That's
do.
right. I like that.
Yeah, I got that email latter part of last week, so I'll follow up on that this week.
Yeah.
Then with that.
That's very good.
And I think Mr. Cartman did convey an email to be sure that our estimate is good.
Well, I just want to make sure we get plenty of money, meaning if we got 330,000, I can't remember what the number was, it's kind of our initial estimate. We redo it and it actually turns out to be 420, I want to make sure we, don't shortchange ourselves. And
Sure. And all those things are time sensitive. Again, I think this process started a couple of years ago.
it did.
So.
And it'll be another, just because it's programmed doesn't necessarily mean it's awarded. So, all of this additional information will result in further guidance from the
An
agency.
update in the estimate will not be a surprise to them when it gets there.
Yeah.
Even for similar scope. So, okay. Anything else for me? I didn't have my copy of the agenda. I don't know if anything
I
else.
was just concerned about the scope of work. The scope of work in terms of whether that really what we need to do, or do we need to do some additional work to it, or what, but I'm sure you look at all of that.
I would think in the end, it would make sense to match what the refuge has done, paving wise,
Right,
which is an asphalt road to the refuge.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Not all in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you so much, Mr. Pritchard. Next on the agenda, we've got our road manager, Mr. Victor Hollins, being represented by our assistant road manager, Mr. Thomas. Good morning. Everybody have a wonderful. Come over. Boxed off.
I see. Get that.
Every time I go out, I go hunt again.
Questions about that?
Make a motion, we acknowledge the road manager report.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, we also have some driveway repairs. Murdoch Drive and Finley, I think. That was one.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
There was one that was left off 536 Cedar Lane, basically saying that where we were facing the cover, it's got to be concrete put back over.
Make a motion, we add that to it. You said 536?
536 Cedar Lane.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, cross drain on County Line roads, we had to cut, it was enclosed in concrete, the head walls, and so we had to cut that, to get that cross drain out of there, so this is on here as well.
That was on the north side of Highway, okay.
No,
That's
no,
on
south side.
the south side, so that's District 1 over there.
Yeah, yes.
So we need to approve, the friendly craftsman to repair the concrete, put back around the end of the cross drain.
Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, do we have any other covered requests?
Just, I think, it was a week or so, maybe 2 weeks ago, we was having some issues with a bridge on county line on the north side. Did you get a chance to take a look at that?
Yeah, we're gonna have to, redig those holes and put it up. That, guardrail is not attached to the bridge, it's actually had posts in the ground. And so we're gonna have to drill holes and put posts back in and reattach.
Okay, so the guardrail is still down right now?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay, well, we probably, as quick as we can, get the guardrail back up on that bridge if possible. Okay, Supervisor Carl.
There was that big cross drain on Self Creek Road, y'all started and had to pull out. I got a call from Mr. Gillian about an emergency. There's some issues with the water line
Yeah,
on Self Creek.
yeah, we got that one in.
Oh, you did?
No problem, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We got that one in, and then we got the one on county line in,
Yes, sir.
and we wanna start on the, one this week on New Line.
And they suspended the new light until March 1st. The new light job, just letting y'all know we got that's typical sometimes with the weather.
Oh, yeah.
It brings us to, as far as new light, we're gonna have to, I don't know if he talked to you about closing the road, put it in the paper in our portal. They wanna start on tomorrow, so we wanna close it from the 2nd to the 12th, to get that cost rate completed.
Okay, I likely won't be able to get it in the paper by tomorrow, but I can certainly get it up on our portal. And I know you're letting 911 and EMA know, so they can probably put it on their social media, and that may help us get the word out.
I'll put it out there too. That's next time we need to get that out. I got next door too. I'll put it on the next door, and that'll let people know within that geographic area. Yeah.
If you please send me an email with the information, the specifics of it all, and if you would CC Supervisor Carver so he can get it on next door, that'd be wonderful.
Supervisor Williams has something.
There are some drop-off places on Top Road and on Southgate. Since we paved those roads, there's some very bad, and I wouldn't be asking you if some of them were real bad.
Right.
So I want you to, I know you might not be able to do the whole road, but if you would assess the places that are real bad, that people are driving off the side and going to cause danger to the motorists, and fix those places. And I can tell you one in particular on our top, and I talked to you about some other ones. When you're coming off Poe House, taking the left, going towards the store on our top, that's a real bad situation.
We addressed that one unless it has reoccurred, but they did address that one.
Right, I had asked about it before.
Yeah, that one has been addressed.
Yeah, but I'd like to talk to you about some of those places that are real bad, and I know you might not be able to get all of them, but the ones that are real bad, and we could address them since we paved those roads, and the pavement is real high, and then it's a drop off, a result of it. But we can have some conversation about that. I would appreciate it.
Do we have any color, of course, access property, anything you got? Well, I do have one, Cedric Akins, 205 Cummins Drive. He's asking to cover to access his property.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
I did have a gentleman stop me this weekend. He's a new build and he wants to put another culvert in on this New Hope Church Road. Can he purchase the culvert and we put it in for him? That's that corner lot that just did the big new fence.
Yes, we just need a copy of the receipt where he purchased the cover.
Yes, sir.
And then we put it in the material.
I'll call you about that one. If I can do a motion now, I get that.
You said this is a new bill?
Yes, sir.
Did he go and get his site permit?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
These are they showed him built 6 houses on New Hope Church Road,
Okay.
but he's a corner lot and he got to get to the back, so I'll just do that next week. I'll come.
Yeah, I mean, normally when they do the process, do the permit, of course, they want a second cover, then they purchase it.
Nice.
So it's proof of it, then we put it in, put the material out.
I get started. I'm gonna do it next meeting.
Sure you don't wanna go ahead and get it done?
I don't know the address.
Okay.
If you know the road, we can approve
Yeah,
it and give him the address.
Let's approve it and I'll get you an address. Just give me a minute on the GPS.
Motion by Supervisor Carvin, second by Supervisor Trainer to approve second cover installed with the cover being purchased by the landowner. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
That is New Hope Church.
That's new
I'll just
code.
give you all that information.
Okay. Anything else for our road manager? If not, need a motion to acknowledge the road manager report.
Thank
Somebody did
We
that?
already did that.
Oh, that's right. All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. All right. Next on the agenda, we've got our county administrator, Mr. Carpenter.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The update on the gas, they were out here last week, they had found a leak and they ended up digging up the line out here and then they tested our meter and determined that we had a leak on our meter. So they took our meter away with them with the intention of repairing it and installing it on Friday. And as of this morning, Harpo was trying to get in touch with them as to why it didn't get, handled. And so that y'all know as much about it at this point as I do. I'm hoping when I get back to my office, I'll have some more information.
It may help to know that just about everybody that's had their gas either looked at or touched downtown has had the exact same issue. My 3 properties have had almost everything you just said has been almost identical to those properties. And it may be just the shifting of what
They're digging up the world around here. I've seen them all over downtown. They got crews and holes.
We smell gas coming from, it's been going on for a while, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, but it's cold. It's cold up in here like that.
So the first item on my report is got to do with our tort claims requirement escrow account as it relates to the Oktibbeha County Hospital. Now, if y'all will recall, we inherited a number of litigation actions, and of course, with the law, we're required to escrow a set amount of money. We employ actuarials, and then they sit around and do their math and figure out how much money we need to have in that account. That account is currently overfunded to the tune of about $700,000. I'll get into that in a minute. But right now, what I'm asking to do, obviously, is to pay the invoice for the actuarials who did the work, right? And they're saying that, let's see, they're saying that we need to have $2,086,000 in that account. Now, I got my.
So we've got a surplus of 727 we need to transfer.
Yeah, it's well over, that's right. They say we gotta have $2,086,000 in that account, and we got 2.8 million in there. And so I just wanted to, first off, I need to pay them. And then secondly, I need to,
I think he's just trying to get them paid. I think is his point.
first item is to pay these actuarials for their work.
Need a
And
motion.
that, the invoice is in the amount of $2,400.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little, that we pay the invoice for the actuaries. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
The second action deals with the same issue, is the decision that needs to be made is the actuaries are recommending that we maintain a balance of $2,086,000. We currently have $2,814,000 in that account. Now, I've spoken with JD, what's JD's last name? JD from Butler Snow.
Oh, yeah.
And JD's recommending that we cut this baby in half and leave, 95%, or, go to only take half of $727,000 out of there. I'm like, if we're required to keep 90% confidence level funding in there, then I say we go with that and don't try to get into all of the minutiae. But it's up to the board. We can leave the whole thing in there, y'all.
My advice is to leave exactly what you're saying. I'm just being honest with y'all. We've got a bunch of stuff that's pending out there, and I'm very uncomfortable with getting
So
over.
your recommendation, based on your assessment, is just leave the 2.8 in there, and when we get through with this thing, I think statute runs on this in 3 years. Whatever we got left, we'll pull
We'll
out.
get it anyway.
That is my advice.
It'll come back to us.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Does the invoice that we just approved be paid from this or other funds?
It can be paid from this.
And
2,400.
Yeah.
did we find out whether or not the attorney fees that were?
Yes, so I got my information back. We can pay all administrative costs, all attorney fees, all settlements, all of that from this fund.
More reason to leave this
Including
fund
what
as a
is
capital.
being asked for today.
Yes, sir.
That's some attorney fees.
That's correct. Mhm.
So
Well, I like that,
We'll
actually.
just leave it. We'll just leave it as is.
So no need for a motion or anything.
We don't need it.
Next item on my report is, an issue that I spoke with y'all about, I think meeting before last, we went into, executive session, and discussed this. It's an employee issue whereby,
What's the head over on right now? Review of
sorry.
payroll?
yes, review of payroll form process, state withholding update plan. So as we discussed before, our withholdings tables were not properly implemented. Maybe the best way to say that. The result is we're withholding less funds from the employee's paycheck. And it's a rather immaterial amount of money. I mean, to the tune of like $13 to $17 per pay period. We need to get our withholdings tables corrected in the payroll system. And in order to do that, we're going to ask all of our employees to complete another state withholding form and submit that in so that we'll have the documentation for what they want with it, what they would like to claim as a standard deduction which governs the state withholdings from their paycheck.
That's a pretty big undertaking. Would we, I know we will help with, some of our employees are going to need assistance with that, though. Make sure they understand what to fill out, what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm not their tax advisor. And won't, I'm not gonna take responsibility for advising folks as to what they should and should not withhold.
Can you provide them what they filled out before?
We can certainly do that. They can certainly come and talk with our human resources director and get a look at what they've done in the past. The state one is pretty straightforward. It's the federal one that's actually very confusing now.
What what the employees probably need to do, whomever they use to fill out their taxes, they can tell them, listen, next year you need to have more taken out. That way you lessen your chances of having to pay back. So that's sort of what you're working on now. Depending on what you withhold throughout the year, that determines what you have to pay back, or if you get a refund back. So their tax preparer is probably the one that needs to advise them as to what they need to have withheld from them.
I just want to make sure, protect our employees, they understand. Well, some people will get in, try to get out and fill it out fast. I want to make sure they understand to go to the tax preparer and do it.
And is this something, and, I mean, maybe I did not understand it correctly when we discussed it before, but is this something that was implemented wrong on our end and that we can just correct internally and and let everybody have a memo letting it know that it was corrected?
So in your file, no.
Was it
No.
something that they just?
The safe bet is to have the employees complete a new form, and that way we have documentation as to what they would like for us to claim for them. And that, because I don't want to take responsibility for doing that. Now, when you say we implemented it wrong, what I will say is we implemented it correctly at the time, and then as the tax tables evolved, right? The tax tables at one point were not accurate. And not ours, I'm talking about the states. And so guidance came down to make adjustments to the withholding so that it would correct the tax tables in the system, if that makes sense. At some point, they got the tax tables corrected, but the adjustments were not then taken back out. And so at this point, we got to get that fixed. Did I do a good job of explaining that? It's even confusing to me as I try to think my way through it.
Was this an Ottawa County problem, or was this a several county problem?
So I spoke with Three-River Planning and Development District. We are not the only county that has this problem. Now, back a number of years ago when they implemented this fix, right? They never came back and said, oh, we made the correction, you now need to undo the initial adjustment that we advised you to put into the payroll system.
And we're talking about state withholding only. It really doesn't affect federal, unless a person.
No impact on federal.
No impact.
We're just talking about state. And the amounts of withholding are relatively immaterial.
Yeah.
And everything reconciles itself when you file your taxes at the end of the year.
So there's anything that may have been shorted or taken out too little of was corrected every single year. So we owe no one any money. They
That's
owe
correct.
us no money. Thank you.
So you need some action to.
I just want you guys, I just want y'all to acknowledge, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to ask questions, make sure you had a good understanding in case you got asked about it.
We'll have to fill out one too, but we get.
You'll have to fill out one, yes, sir.
And I guess I'm just trying to get it straight in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
because I was walking it through when you were walking it through.
Yes, ma'am.
So if they corrected the tax table, and the tax table, had been wrong, and then it got funneled back down correctly, that was there, is something that everybody signed off on, like an extra exemption? Or is it something that had been done wrong, beforehand? Because if the tax table is right,
It's incremental.
was everybody advised to take a little less, or,
I don't think they were advised properly at all. So I think we
have some responsibility as it relates to that. I don't know what was told, I wasn't here for it. I know that we were advised by the Three Rivers Planning and Development District to make those adjustments to each employee's amount that was considered to be exempt, which then fed into the table, which then impacted the withholding.
Because I'm thinking about what I signed up for, you know? I mean, isn't it like withholding 0, 1, 2, 3, or, I mean, I don't remember putting it for.
So you put in head of household, and if it's head of household, then it's like $9,500 is the amount.
But when they go to sign up, I guess what I'm trying to say
Exempted.
is, when you're going to sign up again, or you're going to go do, what are they gonna do differently than they did before?
So right now, an adjustment is being added, so let me try to do an example. Head of household, let's say I'm not married, I'm head of household, I have dependents, I fill out this form. When I check the box, head of household, that results in $9,500 being put onto this form 89-350 as an exemption. That exemption is then based upon the adjustments. We would add $3,400 to that exempted amount, and you would go from, I may have the exact numbers messed up.
12,900.
Yeah, so you'd go to $12,900 as your exemption, which would then impact the amount.
But I guess what I'm just trying to like simplify it down, you know, to.
Yes, ma'am, it's not simple, so I don't know how to
It's
simplify
not-
it down any
it's not-
better.
It's not, but what I'm trying to get to is, the bottom line on all of it is, when they come to re-sign back up, there's nothing that they're gonna change differently than head of household or single or 1 or 2 or 3.
Nothing they're gonna
It
change
is an
different.
internal thing that
It
is
is.
our stuff.
It
So
is.
basically, what we need is some form that says your exemptions have been changed, you know, have been adjusted to meet the state properly.
In order for us to.
Instead of everybody going and redoing it, they need to sign a form that says that we're adjusting their exemptions to meet the state, you know, tax code properly. The adjustments had changed since they had signed up.
They still gotta do the tax form regardless.
But they're not signing anything different on a tax form, is what I'm trying to
There may
say.
be, in certain situations, let's just say I started 15 years ago, 1 child. We have lots of employees that do not come and update. So the best thing would be to have you update or change. You may not change it, but just to have a current tax form.
The safest option
That's the
from the
safest
point of
option.
view of the county is to have the employee
And-
recomplete the form.
And
Then we have documented that we have corrected this line in accordance with their wishes. So that when we get audited and somebody says, who told you, we can show it to them.
Right, but I guess what I was just trying to say is that unless they're correcting something with 1 child or 2 child or 3 children, whatever, they're not really gonna be changing
We
anything.
probably could get away with what you're talking about. The issue is, it's more straightforward just to have them fill out the form and sign it again. And that way, there's no doubt in anybody's mind what their wishes were as it was related to their withholding.
How they fill out the form, that's how the calculation is gonna be done.
That's correct, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Right. But I guess what I was trying to say was, if you're head of household today and you're gonna be head of household tomorrow,
Yeah, you're right, you're
Ain't nothing
exactly
gonna
right.
change.
We could have done it that way, and we considered doing it that way. But there are complications that may arise, so in order to avoid the risk, right, it's much more.
I get it, I get it, I get what
It
you're saying.
ensures that we check every employee that we have on file has a form.
I
That
get it.
way we don't miss anybody.
So basically, what action do we need, that y'all just need to go ahead and get new forms signed?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll make that motion.
I just need you to acknowledge it. I wanted,
Motion to
I
acknowledge.
wasn't asking necessarily for
Yeah.
approval, I just didn't want y'all left out of the loop.
Yeah.
Motion to acknowledge by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Carver, all in favor? Motion passes. What discussion?
Well, the supervisors are not to collect those at all. They've got to be brought straight to the HR department, so.
Oh, yeah.
In the interest of, no, not you, you're talking about department heads
Yeah, I'm out on
and,
that.
yeah. First line supervisors, not board supervisors.
Right. All in favor?
Directly to.
Motion passes unanimously.
We talked earlier about this LAP grant. I'm here to entertain any questions, but what I guess I'm looking for, the board to approve the FLAP, acceptance of the FLAP grant. And my cover sheet says a resolution, but I don't have a resolution for you. That was a mistake.
You got a
motion.
$311,100% federal grant called a Federal Land Access Program.
Right. Well, we applied for
That's the
that,
third
we
year
applied for
thing.
that about 5 years ago.
Well, we jumped through, we jumped through a lot of hoops pretty late in the game last year to reapply for it. And Pickering was instrumental in helping us get all of that done.
Is this in your district? Congratulations. Yeah, that's big.
I worked with, the other carpenter now, Travis Carpenter.
That's right.
Worked with me on getting this grant together.
Yes, he did.
So,
Need a motion.
Motion for approval.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
I'm glad that we're thinking about what was needed at that time and what is needed now. So we're gonna make those adjustments.
We may want to make sure that we're careful to change the scope of work too dramatic.
Too dramatic.
But I hope that they recognize that because we estimated it over 12 months ago, that things have changed and that the current cost may not necessarily be correct.
Right.
No doubt.
All right. The next item on my report is a request of this board to authorize and advertise for the county depository account. Take bids on that.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
The next item on the report is something that we discussed back during budget time. And the sheriff had come to us and talking about wanting to reinitiate or replace the fleet, right? And what they had been doing, the practice had been to borrow money, purchase a whole new fleet, and then every year they would pay out of the operational budget to make payments on the fleet. And so they currently have funds that are budgeted for the purposes of making those payments. With that said, what we talked about during the budget time was that we had funds in something called the special escrow account. And that special escrow account is a good tool to use to help do things like this. And what we discussed was we would pay for all of the vehicles out of that special escrow account. Then we would figure out what we were going to salvage, sell at auction. Then we would take all the proceeds from the sale at auction and reimburse the escrow account with those proceeds. Throughout the years, if they total vehicles out, which occasionally they do, hopefully we won't see any, but I think given the number of vehicles we got on the road, then if we were to sell those for salvage, that kind of thing, then those funds would go back into the special escrow account. Additionally, we're going to take the money that's budgeted in the sheriff's operational account to make payments, and we're going to pay back the special escrow account for the next 4 years. And hopefully at the end of this period, that special escrow would have been paid back sufficiently so that we could rinse and repeat this thing to keep them in, with a solid, well-maintained, acceptable fleet.
And the beauty of it is we're able to do that and not paying the interest that
We're not paying at 6% interest on $1.6 million.
All right, and this says 3 years, but it's really 4 years.
Yes.
Okay.
I think what that's referring to is the first year we would take out of their operational budget the amount that was planned for the payment and put it towards the purchase. The following 3 years would be payments. I think that's what it's trying to communicate.
Okay, I'm good.
This is very minor. I was gonna ask, I thought we were all going to Durango to the 8 trucks, just like supervisors.
As patrol supervisors.
Would that animal control truck be retrofitted with boxes and all that? That's part of this too.
Motion.
Motion for approval to purchase sheriff department vehicles and approval of internal financing.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Next item on my list, I got 2 professional services invoices that I'd like to get paid.
Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Next item on the list is the monthly claims docket.
Motion to pay the bills. Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
I'm gonna pass this around if, you guys could please sign.
We're all getting sick of it.
Credit card. Ready for that?
I'm ready to choke. Pull the trigger.
Motion to approve the credit card charge.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Brain freeze.
Getting cold.
Next item on the agenda is the approval of, or consideration of payroll changes and approval.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Carver. Discussion, just a quick discussion. Have you put in place yet your hiring procedure to come before the board and get for new hires? You discussed
For the old kind, that,
Yeah.
you know, sir, we were told to go back and discuss it with the department head.
Gotcha.
And they're supposed to have their reply, by Friday, they're supposed to have their feedback. And we're
I've gotten
trying to
several,
incorporate
I've
that
gotten
in.
several, so.
Okay, sound good. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
The one thing on this, given that y'all have approved the raises, for the tax office, I'm gonna get with, the tax assessor and work through their budget. I think there's some room in their total budget to help supplement a couple of these lines where they've gone over a little bit given these pay increases.
So the pay increases were not within the budget?
Not within those particular lines. In other words, they have deputies, they have a line for officials and a line for deputies and a line for, so I've got to do a little bit of moving some funds around on lines to get it in the right place, if that makes sense.
reasonable?
Where am I? Christmas parade. So, we were all excited, we were gonna have a parade tonight, and apparently it's been canceled or postponed, to December the 8th. I have worked with, the road department, I've reached out to them. They're gonna have us one of those dump trucks, and then I think Vic's big new four-wheel drive F-250. Because last year we used 2 vehicles, so I'm assuming we'll do the same this coming year. I'll share this email with you that we got Saturday so that you'll know everything I know. Dee's been making these arrangements for us, so she's kind of organizing it. Essentially, all that says is they're gonna do it on Monday, and they'll send out more information as it's available. Monday the 8th, I'm sorry. So to your questions, I'll try and answer any questions you may have regarding Christmas parade.
I'm not sure I'll be there yet. I had another function planned on the 8th, so.
Well, the sooner y'all can let me know, I mean, I think we got plenty of seats, so it's not like, but I hate to put 2 vehicles in there and then not have you guys, not fill them up. So if you're not gonna be able to come, we can make adjustments accordingly.
The most fun I've ever had riding water. He's good at what he does.
We have fun.
I do have one walk-on. I think Deanna got an email this morning or some point over the holiday.
Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, over the holiday that the Mississippi Association of Supervisors has announced their, what do they call that, the winter conference. So the winter conference is scheduled for February 4th and 5th. Registration opens up tomorrow. So we would like your approval to attend that conference so we can get you guys registered and start that process.
So motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. I'm scared to go. I got sick of it.
You sure did.
You
sure did. That was rough.
I'm not gonna make that one because for the last 2 years, they've been doing it that's our mandatory Chancery Clerk class, so none of the Chancery Clerks will get to go to that. We'll be at our own.
Subject to your questions, that concludes my report.
Motion to acknowledge, motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Carver. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Next, we've got Sheriff's Office, Chief Deputy, Maurice Johnson.
Yes, sir. Happy Cyber Monday.
Absolutely.
Come and spend some money.
I thought this fit 1.7 million.
He walked into it. He walked right into it.
I'm sorry, I'm just.
She's not sorry, really.
I'm just doing my job.
First,
Like having a household.
Regroup down there. Yes,
approval for the application to request $5,000 in grant for SRT equipment. It's $5,000 cost section to the county.
Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Carver. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
And the second one is to enter into an agreement with Leaks Online. At the new budget, we requested $2,000 to enter into this agreement. It's going to be twice as much as that. We still have enough money in contractual services. It's something we had years ago, and we're trying to get back into it. investigated to.
And it's a standard contract, I read over it, it's just a standard contract.
Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Williams, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
You want to do anything for me?
Thank you, Chief, we appreciate you so much.
What was it he said? You can't put a price on safety.
Say
Next, we've got our Chancery Clerk, Ms. Livingston.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Okay, next is we've got a board attorney, Attorney Robbins.
All right, I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can so that y'all, we have, the insurance carrier, when we send these things, any of our things off to them, they're now sending them back to me to determine what attorney's office we want to use. And basically, it's a standard procedure that they changed about 6 months ago. But the hospital is in the same boat. And all of the attorneys that have been working on different caseloads are needing us to approve. And I'm asking for permission for me to continue the work with the attorneys that were already hired by the hospital to continue that work. But we are the client now, not the hospital. These are going to be Phillips, and frankly, they're all people that we've used in the past at some point or another. There is one particular one that the hospital is actually suing the insurance carrier that the attorney that we've hired to represent our interest, or at least the hospital's interest at that time. Now, our interest has a conflict, and I'm taking that one over. However, the attorney that was working on that particular case is giving me advice on some things. I may come back in the future and say, hey, we need to go ahead and hire X group to come in here because it's just so complicated. The particular case that I'm talking about is it's a case in which the insurance company underpaid, or at least our position is they underpaid for services that were provided in the hospital. It's very convoluted. I know about this much of something that's a far bigger issue, but we're digging into it pretty easy. All I'm going to ask for y'all to do is allow me to continue those relationships with the attorneys that are currently working on them, and allow me to work on that particular case. That's all I'm asking for at this point.
Motion instead of just continue.
Allow board attorney to continue working with the current attorneys that have been affiliated with the hospital. That's all.
We're former OTH attorneys, and we're working on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, not OCH.
Thank you.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Carver. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes.
And going forward, if we get new cases and you have to appoint counsel, would you bring each of those before the board? Is that how that works?
What I would do is more than likely I would contact the attorney that usually these types of things have particular attorney groups that have been working with them in the past. So I will bring those before the board and ask for y'all to approve each one of those if they are new, especially if they're new. The other thing that we need to be, and I don't want any action taken today, but I met with, and I'm not going to say any of the doctors' names just to keep their privacy, but we're being asked, and in all honesty, I think this doctor may be correct, but there was a self-insured program that OCH had with the doctors that they hired out there. Those programs, to be honest with you, that self-insurance program, it changed about 5 or 6 years ago, and the statutory authority on suing somebody is 3 years. So the self-insured program, in my opinion, from what I can tell, should have been given back to them, the hospital should have given them their money back a couple of years ago. It has nothing to do with us, but we're left holding the bag.
Well, and so to clarify on that, to my knowledge, there are 3 of these programs.
Right.
When those funds were settled to the county, we settled them into 3 separate checking accounts, Dee? Is that safe to say that they're in separate checking accounts, right? I'm not misrepresenting that, am I? Yeah, they're obviously in 3 separate funds, so we can keep the money straight. I'm just remembering, we opened up 3 checking accounts, 1 for each of these agreements. So we're kind of waiting on Rob and Butler Snow and this bunch to tell us. Number one, I haven't seen any of these agreements. So there's 3 separate agreements with 3 different, it may be groups of physicians or single physicians, but there's 3 separate agreements. I haven't seen any of the agreements.
Or the
At Rob's
contracts.
point, the statutes run on those things in about 3 years. So.
Yeah.
Taking ownership of the existing.
But we have the funds and they are on deposit and separate from our hospital proceeds.
Now, none of the doctors have been anything but willing to work with us. I've not had anybody, I met with a particular doctor the first of last week. He's supposed to be bringing me his contract so that we can at least deal with him. But all of them understand that we're merely trying to figure this out and do what is proper. I've asked him for the contract, and I should have that soon. And I've also asked for his current insurance, so that current insurance should cover us from this point forward. I did give a phone call to Butler Snow to get their input on this as well. They weren't, when we knew about this way back when, but we weren't sure as to exactly what this was going to look like. And now this is kind of becoming, this is kind of coming to a point we're going to have to start dealing with some of this. I'm not asking for us to do anything today. I just didn't want y'all to get caught flat-footed. And if something is asked of you about this, that you can say, hey, our attorneys are working on this. These doctors deserve to be treated fairly in this process. I think they realize that we're trying to treat them fairly. So just a matter of making sure that we're covering the hospital, the old hospital issues that may be out there. We're covering the county. We're covering the doctors. And also we're doing what is right. So that's my.
And I don't know if we clarified the nature of these agreements, and having not seen them, I'm telling you what I've been told about them. 50% of the funds that are on deposit belong to the physicians, and 50% of the funds that are on deposit belong to us as the county. And so when we do determine that we can settle these accounts out, we will have to pay the physicians and then settle the county's portion over into the hospital proceeds fund.
That's all I have. If y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer it. If you need anything, or we're not moving fast enough on certain issues, I know we've got a couple of things that are floating around for easements and things like that, holler at us and we'll try to get to getting whomever's working in my office motivated to do what they need to do.
Anything else for our board, sir? If not, we're at the board of supervisors. Supervisor Little, you got anything coming from forward? Supervisor Carl, you take one.
MSU Extension luncheon today, I think it's 12:30.
Well, I thought it was 12.
Yes, 12:30. I'm sorry, I had it on my list to talk about. 12:30, MSU Extension Services feeding lunch, begging us to come. They'd love to see you. Also, the road department is feeding lunch at the
That's
they told me it was on December the 1st. Well, I missed it. I missed an email.
You would have been being short on the serving line.
I know, right?
Fill in.
They didn't bring you back.
They didn't bring no food with them.
Okay. Anything coming from other than that, Supervisor Carl?
turning 45 tomorrow, so I'm getting midlife
Happy
crisis.
birthday.
and
Your birthday's with
Go
my
to all
daddy.
the big doctor visits. Y'all pray for me.
Oh, yeah.
You turned
Happy
what?
birthday.
45,
That's y'all.
1980.
Oh, you baby.
I trained with you.
Baby.
I feel so sorry.
45, yeah.
Supervisor training, anything too?
Yes, the resolution for those nurses, do we need to pass that?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay, well, I'd like to make a motion for any member that wants to travel to NACO on February 21st to 24th for the NACO Legislative Conference in DC. Make a motion to approve travel.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little, that we approve travel for anyone wanting to travel to NACO. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Is that February?
February 21st through the 24th, Washington DC.
Supervisor Williams, anything out of 5?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Final thing then is as you see on the agenda, I was contacted by Lindsay Bell, asking if we would recognize, I think anesthesis, I think that's the proper pronunciation, nurses for the week of January 18th through the 26th. And I told I would bring before the board, be approved, and it's in your agenda for approval. So,
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little, that we approve the proclamation. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. That's all I've got, coming from District 3.
Make a motion, we recess to the 15th at 9 a.m.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor, you don't want to leave. I'll second that. Second by Supervisor Howard, that we recess until the 15th at 9 a.m. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
We are.